In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your rear brake hose on this Chevy Silverado 2500. Let's get started. Let's remove the wheel. First, if your truck has these, remove your center caps with a 22mm socket. These are just plastic mounting nuts, so be careful with them. You don't want to break them. Take this off and set it aside. Now remove all 8 of your 22mm lug nuts. If your wheel is stuck like this one, put one lug nut back on for safety, and then take a rubber mallet and tap it with that rubber mallet on the tire, not on the rim, from the backside. There we go. The lug nut held that wheel on so it doesn't fall off. Now take it off and remove the wheel. With an 11mm socket, remove the banjo bolt off of the brake hose and off the caliper. Brake fluid will start flowing here, so because this is the old brake hose, I'm now going to use some special pliers that clamp down on the brake hose. If you don't have these, you could use some locking pliers. This will just restrict the flow of brake fluid while we work, and will basically prevent that master cylinder from drying up. Now, I would not recommend doing this to the new brake hose, so as soon as I pull this off, I'm going to put the new hose on, work fairly quickly, or you can depress the brake pedal all the way at this point with this cracked open, and then stick a pry bar between the seat and the brake pedal to hold it on the floor. That will also stop brake fluid from flowing. So with this clamped down and this bolt loose, remove it the rest of the way. Caliper will start draining, that's normal. We now have to remove the banjo bolt from this hose. It looks like it's kind of stuck in here, so what I'm going to do is grab pliers and hold on to this lower washer here, the inner washer, and then remove the bolt with my socket. Most likely what's happening here is this inner washer is so squished that it's actually grabbing onto the threads, so we just have to hold the washer and prevent it from spinning so it can basically unthread from it. Okay, looks like it worked. Once it works a little bit, you can grab this easier. And there we go. Remove the bolt, and this can stay on here. Always install new washers. Make sure you remove the other washer off of the banjo bolt as well. Follow the brake hose, and you'll see where it connects onto your brake line. Here, you can use a 13mm flare nut wrench. This is what it looks like. It grabs onto a couple extra sides over a regular wrench. I just broke that free easily. Sometimes it is a little bit more difficult. However, the challenge now is to break the fitting free from the line. But to be honest, it is not absolutely necessary that you do that. So in my case, it looks like the line does not want to break free whatsoever, which is okay. What I'm going to do is take this clip out and just spin the hose off the line instead of the line off the hose. Grab some pliers or a little pry bar, whatever you have. Take this clip out. If the line is rusted in place here and it's kind of stuck, just tap it with a hammer. There we go. Hold the fitting and spin the line. Some pliers could come in handy here for some extra leverage. As soon as you disconnect this, the line will start leaking quite a bit of fluid, so you want to be careful and ready to install the new line. We don't want to lose too much fluid. Unless you have that brake pedal depressed and held down all the way, then no fluid should come out. All right, here we go. As you can see, a lot of fluid is coming out. The threads are fairly clean, so I'm not worried about that. I'm going to connect this new line. On the line, you can use a 16mm wrench if you want to turn it. It's got a cutout here, which is nice. All right, I'm gonna get my wrench back on here and just give this a snug. All right, about a quarter turn should be good after it has bottomed out. There we go, nice and tight. Now you can use this wrench to turn the line until it fits into its groove here. Let's lock it in with this clip. Tap it in. Inspect your banjo bolt. Mine looks like it's in very good condition because it's new. I'm gonna put one copper washer on, a brand new one that was provided with my line. Then bring the brake hose in, get that bolt through, and put another copper washer on. And then you're gonna wanna turn it so that it faces the caliper. When they're new, they might be a little bit stiff. Once you get it started, snug it up. Once it's snug and it has stopped leaking, torque it down. The torque for this is 30 foot-pounds. Basically what you want to do is just crush those copper washers together to create a nice tight seal. That's it right there. Now pop off the cap for the bleeder screw. Use a 10mm wrench or socket and open up the bleeder screw. Air and fluid will come out. Now you want to wait until a steady trickle of fluid comes out of the bleeder screw. Once that happens, that concludes our gravity bleed, and then you'll have to do a full manual brake bleed. To begin your manual brake bleed, make sure that your brake master cylinder is topped off with clean fluid. Then you're going to want to have a second person in the car pumping up the brake pedal as you open and close the bleeder screw. So after a few pumps, have them hold pressure on the brake pedal and open up the bleeder screw. At this point, air and fluid will come out. Once the pedal has reached the floor, close off the bleeder screw and have them pump up the brakes again. After 2 to 3 pumps, have them hold pressure on the brake pedal once again and open up the bleeder screw. Repeat this procedure until no more air comes out of the caliper and you have only clean fluid. Once you get to that point, close off the bleeder screw and top off the master cylinder with clean fluid to make sure it's full. Use brake parts cleaner and degrease the entire area to make sure that you don't confuse any residual for a potential leak in the future. Once everything has dried off, cap off the bleeder screw and let's put the wheel back on. Let's get the wheel on. Put on all 8 of your lug nuts, bottom them out in a cross pattern, and then also in a cross pattern, we're going to torque them to 140 foot-pounds. Once again, 140 foot-pounds in a cross pattern. There you have it. Put your center cap on if your truck has this. And with the same socket you used for the lug nuts, tighten these up just by hand. Make them snug. These are plastic. If you strip them out once, they probably won't hold anymore. So just go in a cross pattern. That way this seats evenly. Tighten these up. They kind of click in place once they're locked in. So that's how you know. There we go.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.